understand. A human being constantly, a human being is longing to be something more than what they are right now.
Major one was self-love.
To submit and to accept and love yourself.
And if you truly, truly believe in yourself, you won't want to be anybody else.
Find yourself in your alone moments because you're all you have, truly.
Hello, you don't even know my name, but I am happy you came by. No lessons learned, of course you're gonna leave as soon as you came across who I am not.
Hi, welcome to my first official video. As you could see in the title and in the intro before, I'm going to be talking about self-love. So why am I going to talk about self-love? Because I truly believe that it is the foundation of all things. If you really want to become the best version of yourself, if you really want to start that self-development journey and grow through life and just succeed in all that you do and have that peace and enlightenment and become aware of yourself, I truly believe that it all has to start somewhere, and that starts with loving yourself. Self-love is definitely learning how to accept yourself, and it's not just accepting yourself for who you are right now in this moment. It's learning to accept every version of who you've ever been, not just the good ones. It's accepting the bad ones too, because I don't think you can truly accept the good sides of you if you haven't yet even acknowledged or accepted the dark sides. By accepting the ugly side of who you are internally and the mistakes you've made and the bad and the defects, you kind of like open up this door to allowing yourself to accept everything about you in an authentic and free way. And like the only way to really do that and accept yourself in that way is you have to look inward to who you truly are and face every emotion as they come, good or bad, regardless. And you have to know and understand that it's okay to feel that way, that you're not crazy or nothing's wrong with you, you know, like it's okay. We're humans. We're supposed to feel good. We're supposed to feel bad. We're supposed to go through good things, and then we're supposed to go through really bad things. It just all depends on how you interpret it all and how you use it to your benefit. It's also learning to forgive yourself. You can't truly forgive yourself if you haven't already accepted that it has happened, or that that's who you are, or that's what you went through. Forgiving yourself opens another door, another layer to being able to create this safe place inside of you. And when you have this safe place inside of you, it's easier to freely love who you are and show up authentically without a care in the world, because you know who you are, you've accepted yourself, you've forgiven yourself for your mistakes, and it's easier now to feel safe in your body and in your heart and in your mind. It's important to know that self-love is taking it easy on yourself, to really kind of like wind down that inner critic and wind up the voice in your head that says, you know what, it's okay, like it's okay. And I don't want you to get confused and think that, oh, I can just go out and do bad things and make bad decisions and be a bad person, because at the end of the day, if I just tell myself it's okay, it's okay. No, that's not how it works. And we all know that when you do that, you just kind of tend to not like yourself even more. It's understanding that if things have happened, or a sequence of events have happened in your life that have led you to not really be comfortable in who you are, like yourself, it's telling yourself that that's okay. That's okay if right now you don't like yourself. It's okay. It's a normal human emotion. But I want you to know that there's a possibility where you can grow to like yourself and then really love yourself. Finally, self-love is listening to your heart more than anything. I really believe that our heart speaks to us. Whether you're aware of it consciously or not, it's always speaking to you. It's only up to you, though, to decide if you want to listen to it. So I do want to just start with talking about how I started my self-love journey. Like what led me to realize that I really needed to love myself. The journey of loving myself, I can definitely say, started in 2017. I'll say where I became like really aware, where I actually every day was starting to do little things to help me become more confident in who I am and love myself a little more. But if I were to tell you that at 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, did I fully love myself? No, I didn't. And to be honest with you, I thought I did. I really thought I did. I look back now and realize that I spent the majority of my life desperately trying to look a certain way and desperately trying to show up as a certain person. And that all rooted from me not feeling like I was enough. When you put your worth in someone else's hands and expect them to see that worth and love you, when you can't even love yourself, you're never gonna get that satisfaction, ever. And I'm saying that from experience. I was unconsciously filling a void in my heart that I couldn't fill myself. Yet I was going around confidently saying that I love myself, because a lot of the time we do these things unconsciously, and until you sit down by yourself and question yourself, if I really love myself, why do I keep gravitating toward people who don't love me back? Ask yourself that, and then you realize, well, oh, maybe I don't really love myself, and maybe I'm not truly seeing who I am and showing up as that person that I truly am. I kept ending up disappointed again and again and again, and I didn't understand. I was like, but I do the work. Like, I love myself. Like, I'm putting in the work. I'm working on myself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Like, I'm putting in the work. Why do I keep ending up after every setback or situation or breakup? Why do I keep ending up more sad than I was when I started? Like, why do I never feel fulfilled and validated? Why do I feel alone? And that's when I realized that I was putting my worth in people's hands, and I was expecting them to love me and value me and see me, and I couldn't even do it myself. I couldn't even do it for me, and I was expecting everyone else to do it for me. And it's impossible, really. You can't do that, and that's why you hear over and over again, and if you've never heard it, I'll tell you. You hear that at the end of the day, you really only accept the love you believe you deserve. It's as simple as that. It's really important to understand is that self-love is not a destination. It's not a place you can reach in life and then you just never have to deal with any insecurities or traumas that come up. And it's not like that, because every year you're a different person. Like next year, I'm gonna be a different me, and the way I love myself and show up for myself is gonna be completely different than how I do now. Just the way I show up for myself is completely different from how I did when I was 16, and I thought I was showing up for myself. Start with the simple things. Like if I were to ask, what about yourself could probably use a little bit more love and acknowledgement that, you spend the majority of your time disregarding or, just not paying attention to because it's a part of you that you don't like? What is that for you? I think the majority of people will automatically be quick to point out a physical feature or a flaw that they see in themselves. And if that's the case, well, then just start there. Start to think and understand and become aware of everything my body's been through. We're constantly putting our bodies into stress our whole life, yet we're still here, breathing, and able to get back to work Monday after the crazy party weekend, or after you've gotten sick, your body heals and you're able to get up and go work out again and go do the things you love again and show up. Or you break a bone and then eventually it heals and you're able to do stuff again. And it's never in the same way before, but your body still keeps moving and doing things. So how are you going to stand there and point out all these flaws? And I say flaws like this because I don't believe we have any. I think we're just our biggest critics and point out stuff in ourselves that someone else wouldn't even recognize, really. We're so quick to point these things out, yet we don't stop to realize that our body's been through so much, and yet we're still standing, and just be grateful for that, because it's your body and you only get one. So love it. You don't have to do it all in one day. You don't, like I said, it's a journey, but just slowly be like, hey, like, you don't have to say, oh my God, I love everything about me, I'm sexy, I'm perfect, I'm beautiful. Like, you don't need to do that. You could just start by saying, wow, I'm really grateful that my body, after all this time, could still walk, could still run, could still lift, could still dance, could still do all these things that, you know, not a lot of people can do, maybe. All of these are reasons to stop and reflect and really be grateful that you're here and you can do things, and your body is here helping you do things and get to those places and go have fun and travel and do the things you love to do. Like, after everything that we've really put our body through, I do think that the last thing our poor body needs is for us to look in the mirror and point out every wrong thing about it. Tell yourself, hey, I love you. Maybe I'm still learning to love you for what you look like, but I love you because I'm grateful that still, after being severely sick or getting hurt or breaking bones or putting you through a horrible hangover, I still love you because here you are. Telling yourself these things is not hard to do when you're feeling yourself and you feel good and you're wearing the good outfit and, you know, everything's just in balance, and it's one of those really good days that we've all had. But it does get harder to tell yourself those things, those same words, on the days where you're kind of living a living hell, where everything is falling apart and life is shitty and you feel shitty and it's just not going according to plan. The last thing you want to do is stand there and think about all these thoughts and become self-aware and think of all these things because you're too busy worried about everything wrong going on or how bad you feel. You just want to curl up in your bed and be under a blanket and cry yourself to sleep, and that's okay. You can do that. If you're feeling like that and you're like, there's no way I'm going to stand up right now and tell myself, like, hey, thank you, body, for everything you've done, don't do it. It's fine. Instead, on your worst days, stand up and tell yourself, hey, I love you because you look like that, because you're a mess, because you haven't showered in 3 days, because you're so sad, you haven't gone out, you haven't socialized. I love you. I love you because everything has fallen apart. This is where you're able to be like, hey, I see you, I accept you. And right now our mind is very negative, but I accept you because that's who we are right now in this moment. Especially love those parts that you'd probably be quick to say, oh, no one could love me because I'm this way, or because I do this and no one knows about it, or those unlovable aspects of who you are, you love them. Love that about you. And you'll soon realize that a lot of people can love them too. But you won't ever feel that love from everyone else unless you love that first. We have to know how to love ourselves in those absolute worst moments of our life. The way I was able to look inward into myself in the easiest way was through spirituality. Spirituality made me realize that regardless or not whether I can love myself, I'm still a divine being, a soul that was uniquely created. We start out as these souls and we're given the opportunity to go into life, live a human experience, and that's why you hear we're spiritual beings living a human experience, and I truly believe that. When you look at life as a gift and how you were a soul long before you were human, you were this celestial being way before you knew what it was like to hate yourself or feel pain or all these negative emotions. You were a soul. I truly believe that there's no possible reason why I can possibly not love myself. And then I just remember, oh, this is just me in my human body and my mind and my brain. going through human experiences that have led me to believe that I shouldn't like myself, or that I should hide that part of myself or not show up as that part of myself because society or the world or whatever it is has told me that that's not right or that's not good. And when you dive deep like this into yourself, you'll find places in you that you never knew you had. You'll find parts of you that you didn't know you were. And when you do that and you don't let the external noise or voices or society or people around you tell you you should do it any different and you do it anyway, that's when you're able to really just show up carefree, authentically, and love who you are. And when you love who you are like that, you just automatically love the world, and when you love the world, it loves you back. The number one thing I had to do after I went inward, I had to stop blaming myself for how things ended up turning out in my life. You can't blame yourself for what happened to you, especially if it wasn't your fault. You can't. Like, you just can't blame yourself. And if you keep blaming yourself, you'll always feel horrible about it. And when you feel horrible about it, you'll start to not like yourself. This is why it's so important to forgive who you are and not blame yourself. Because when you don't blame yourself and you release yourself from the stuff that have happened to you and the way your life ended up turning out, maybe not the way you expected, it opens a door, peels off another layer where you can really start to be like, I like that part of me. I need that part of me. Choosing myself and my own mental health above any person, any job, or any situation. My biggest moment where I definitely came down to having to make a decision to choose myself above people, a job, a certain situation, or anything I was in was me moving back to my hometown and living with my parents after having moved out for 6 months and being on my own. That's where I really put my mental health first, and it didn't matter to me if it was the most irrational decision ever to leave my apartment complex halfway through a lease knowing I'm not going to live there but still have to pay rent, or leaving a job I had committed to. I realized there's something off. My mental health as it is at an all-time low, and I need to change this because I don't want to feel like this forever. And that's the moment I really realized I didn't love myself as much as I thought I did, and that I needed to figure something out so that I can. I realized that I wasn't showing up in any aspect in my life fully and lovingly and authentically because I wasn't showing up for me. So I had to make a decision that in the moment, and after it being made, definitely initially just moving back, I felt like it was the wrong decision being made, and that I probably could have gone about it a different way. But now, a year later, I could definitely say that it's the best decision I ever made. I'm realizing what it is I want in life and focusing on myself and putting myself first and prioritizing my own mental health and my own heart and my mind and my soul so that I could show up in the world in such a loving and genuine way. I truly believe everything happens for a reason and that nothing is coincidence. If you're watching this video right now and you feel very connected, I do believe it's for a reason. And I hope that maybe one thing or two things or maybe the whole thing brought you to realize a lot about yourself, or encourages you or inspires you to go out there and love yourself a little bit more than you did yesterday. Because even if you think you have it all figured out and love yourself, let me tell you, life will humble you. It humbled me. It humbled me big time, and it knocked me down multiple times until I understood it and realized, like, I don't know it all. I don't love myself as much as I thought I did, but I can truly say I'm on a very self-aware journey in my life where I'm learning new ways to love myself, and I'm loving myself in new ways, and learning new things about myself, and accepting every part of who I am. And honestly, if you look back at just basically everything I just talked about, there's like a common factor in everything I just said, and that's choosing yourself above all else. It's putting yourself first, and it's not selfish. I don't care who tells you that it's selfish to stop what you're doing and leave a situation or whatever it is you're in and just focus on you. Like, that's selfish. It's not selfish. You want to know what selfish is? Showing up in places, in your job, in your career, in your family, in if you have kids, with your partner, whatever it is. Showing up, knowing that your cup isn't filled up, and that you've got a lot of inner work to do, and that you don't see the worth in yourself, and you don't love yourself, and you know that, and you still go and you expect everyone around you to love you and to see your worth and to validate you, and you expect them to do all of that for you. That's selfish, because that's not fair on anyone. We're all just trying to go through life and figure life out in the best way we can. It's not fair to come and show up and expect someone else to fill you up. That's not how it works. We all fill ourselves up. Once we fill ourselves up, then we can show up in the best way possible to truly and authentically love the people around us and the world around us. And to be honest, like, when you do that and you choose yourself over everything else, it's the most selfless thing you can do. To learn to love yourself unconditionally, with no judgment, so that you can then go out into the world and love it just the same. That's selfless. Choosing you so that you can show up as a better person, a better version, not only for yourself, but everyone around you, because that's what's going to happen. If you come into this self-love journey and say, I'm doing it for me, beautiful. That's who you should be doing it, because at the end of the day, it's only you versus you. You'll see that once you start getting better at it and practicing it more and doing all the right things, you'll see how in every relationship in your life, you're showing up with just as much love. And that's all we really want in life, right? To be loved and to love others. And if you say no, you're lying. You're lying. Like, literally everything we do in this world is all rooted from love, whether that was pain of losing a friendship, or heartbreak, losing someone you thought you were going to spend the rest of your life with, whatever it is, it all rooted from love. The reason you could feel so much pain from your past is because you loved so deeply. You could only feel immense, deep amounts of pain because there was a point in your life where you felt immense, deep amounts of love. So once again, you're capable of it. You're capable of being loved and loving others. I really hope that everything I talked about just kind of made you feel less alone. And maybe you knew all of this, maybe you know more than me. And if you do, I'd love to hear your thoughts on self-love and what you're doing to practice self-love, if there's something different, if there's something maybe I could learn, because that's what this is truly all about. Me coming from a place of, obviously, like, everything I said is my own experience and stuff I've learned along the way, but just being here so that you feel less alone and understand that you're not the only one on this journey, or you can very well start this journey. There's no rule book to how we're supposed to do it. There's no right or wrong way. You just got to do what's best for you. If you are here till the end, thank you for just listening, because I'm still trying to get used to this, and talking to my phone is definitely new to me and kind of weird, but more than ever, I just hope that I give off the intention that when I speak, you can relate, and by relating, that allows you to feel seen, because I can't see you on the other side of this screen, but I hope you know that you're loved and that you're worth it enough to go the extra mile and to choose yourself and to put yourself first, regardless of what the world is telling you, and love yourself a little more than you did yesterday.